So, what keeps it fresh for me? How do I maintain long-term practice? I've been doing this now for about 37 years at the time of making this video. I may stop tomorrow, I don't know, but I'm not intending to do so. So you might ask, what is it that keeps me interested after all these years? The first thing is that I like the life it gives me. Life is better when I do these things, and so much worse when I stop. If you persevere with this, my belief is that there's a good chance you'll get the same results that I have. It shouldn't be necessary for you to do it for 37 years before you see the results, but usually there is an initial period of delay of maybe a few weeks practice, although it can be a lot shorter. David told me that I'd start to feel the benefits after 30 days, so about a month, and I did. In fact, well before the 30 days were up in my instance. What I hope is that you will feel this is worth doing and want to do it, and that it will, in a sense, become its own reward. Not only do we start to enjoy the life it gives us, but we start to enjoy the things that we do to get it as well. So not only do we enjoy the results, but we enjoy the process. This has happened to me. That second part took a little longer than the first, I have to say. So these are called spiritual exercises. And in some ways, this is a bit like a program of physical exercise. So initially, I might jog or cycle for health benefits. And what motivates me pretty quickly is the feeling of getting in fitter, perhaps starting to see some weight loss and other health benefits. But usually at the beginning, the exercise is onerous and not much fun. Eventually, though, most of us will reach a point where we enjoy the exercise itself and we start to look forward to it as much as we enjoy the benefits. Now, I find that people who really get involved in the way of beauty start to feel exactly the same way about this. The practices themselves become a source of joy, not just the results they bring. Something else that keeps this fresh for me is arises from a fundamental spiritual principle, and that is the more we give, the more we get. The more I try and help others, the more I receive from God. And the greatest joy for me in this, in fact, is actually helping other people and seeing their lives change as a result of passing it on to them. This is what keeps it fresh for me. And I never grow tired of that aspect. In fact, I really feel something is missing in my life if I'm not working with somebody as a mentor at any point in time. It is through giving back to others without thought of return that I receive the greatest reward. So I give back to others what I receive from God, in a sense. I receive from God and I return that love to God through others, as well, of course, through the worship of God. But in the context of doing the practices, God gives me a gift that more than makes up for any of the sacrifices that I make. So with those points in mind, here are some practical ways to put into practice a development of activities that actually helps to keep it fresh. So if you're not part of a group, and I'm assuming now you've got, you're going through the process and you're beginning to feel a bit stale. You've got the benefits and you're wondering how to keep that sense of momentum going. So something you can think about is join a group or start a group. If you're already in a group, volunteer to be more responsible for the running of the group so that you can ensure that it happens each week. As David used to say to me, if everybody had the attitude that you did, ask yourself whether that group would happen, or are you just a passenger? So try and take responsibility. Offer to mentor other people and pass on your experience directly. This needs judgment. You need to gauge whether there's an interest, and typically we go with those who seem to be curious. Um, each person I mentor brings unique challenges and experiences to the table, making the familiar practices feel new again as I see them work in different lives in different ways. And every time I guide someone through the steps, I learn more, in fact, by seeing how it works in their lives too. Um, or outside the context of a way of beauty group or mentorship, find any area of service where you're giving people a positive outlook on life and encouraging them to be grateful for what they have, if only through your conduct and your own attitude. If you are involved in a group where you can befriend people and maybe offer them this process, that would be ideal. We can't always engineer these things, so we're just looking for opportunities and trying to do our best. And the more you're in a position to directly help people, the better it is. If you keep looking, God will put people in your way when you're ready. But in the meantime, if you're open to the possibility and on the lookout for those you might help, you will reap the benefits. So those are the ideas I have. That's it. 37 years in, and I'm still discovering new depths to this process, still being surprised by the transformations I witness, and still grateful for the ever richer life that it continues to give me.